صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
The book about the virtues of Al-Madinah. Chapter on Haram, Sanctuary of Al-Madinah. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Al-Madinah is a sanctuary from that place to that. Its trees should not be cut, and no heresy should be innovated, nor any sin should be committed in it. And whoever innovates in it an heresy, or commits sins, bad deeds, then he will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. See Volume 9, Hadith number 7306. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, came to Al-Madinah and ordered a mosque to be built and said, O Bani Najjar, suggest to me the price of your land. They said, we do not want its price except from Allah. That is, they wished for a reward from Allah for giving up their land free. So, the Prophet, peace be upon him, ordered the graves of the mushrikun to be dug out and the land to be leveled and the date palm trees to be cut down. The cut date palms were fixed in the direction of the Qibla of the mosque. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I have made Al-Madinah a sanctuary between its two Hira mountains. The Prophet, peace be upon him, went to the tribe of Bani Haritha and said to them, I see that you have gone out of the sanctuary. But looking around, he added, No, you are inside the sanctuary. Narrated Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, we have nothing except the book of Allah, the Qur'an, and this written paper from the Prophet, peace be upon him, wherein it's written, Al-Madinah is a sanctuary from the Ayr mountain to such and such a place, and whoever innovates in it an heresy, or commits a sin, or gives shelter to such an innovator or sinner in it, will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. None of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted, and the asylum of protection granted by any Muslim to be secured, respected by all the other Muslims. And whoever betrays a Muslim in this respect incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted. And whoever freed slave takes as masters other than his manumitters without their permission incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted. Chapter on Superiority of Al-Madinah, and that it expels evil, vicious persons. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, I was ordered to migrate to a town which will swallow, conquer other towns, and is called Yathrib, and that is Al-Madinah. And it turns out, bad persons, as a furnace removes the impurities of iron. Chapter on Al-Madinah is also called Thaba. Narrated Abu Humayd, may Allah be pleased with him. We came with the Prophet, peace be upon him, from Tabuk. And when we reached near Al-Madinah, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, This is Thaba. Chapter on the two mountains of Al-Madinah. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. If I saw deers grazing in Al-Madinah, I would not chase them. For Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, Al-Madinah is a sanctuary between its two mountains. Chapter on what about the one who runs away from living in Al-Madinah. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, The people will leave Al-Madinah in spite of the best state it will have, and none except the wild birds and the beasts of prey will live in it. And the last persons who will die will be two shepherds from the tribe of Muzayna, who will be driving their sheep towards Al-Madinah, but will find nobody in it. And when they will reach the valley of Thaniyatil Wada, they will fall down on their faces, dead. Narrated Sufyan bin Abu Dhuhair, may Allah be pleased with him. I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, Yemen will be conquered, and some people will migrate from Al-Madinah, and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate to Yemen, although Al-Madinah will be better for them if they but knew. Sham will also be conquered, and some people will migrate from Al-Madinah, and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate to Sham, although Al-Madinah will be better for them if they but knew. Iraq will be conquered, and some people will migrate from Al-Madinah and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate to Iraq, although Al-Madinah will be better for them if they but knew. Chapter on Iman, belief, returns and goes back to Al-Madinah. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, Verily, belief returns and goes back to Al-Madinah, as a snake returns and goes back to its hole when in danger. Chapter on sin of that person who betrays and harms the people of Al-Madinah. Narrated Sa'd, may Allah be pleased with him. I heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying, None plots against the people of Al-Madinah, but that he will be dissolved, destroyed, like the salt is dissolved in water. Chapter on the high buildings of Al-Madinah. Narrated Usama, may Allah be pleased with him. Once the Prophet, peace be upon him, stood at the top of a castle amongst the castles, or the high buildings of Al-Madinah, and said, Do you see what I see? No doubt, I see the places or spots of al-fitn, trials and afflictions, among your houses, and these fitn will be as numerous as the spots where raindrops fall. Chapter on Ad-Dajjal will not be able to enter Al-Madinah. Narrated Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, The terror caused by Al-Masih, Ad-Dajjal, will not enter Al-Madinah, and at that time Al-Madinah will have 7 gates, and there will be 2 angels at each gate, guarding Al-Madinah. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, There are angels guarding the entrances or roads of Al-Madinah. Neither plague nor Ad-Dajjal can enter it. Narrated Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, There will be no town in which Ad-Dajjal will not enter except Mecca and Al-Madinah, and there will be no entrance, road, of both Mecca and Al-Madinah, but the angels will be standing in the rows guarding it against him, and then Al-Madinah will shake with its inhabitants thrice. That is, 3 earthquakes will take place, and Allah will expel all the disbelievers and the hypocrites from it. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, told us a long narrative about Ad-Dajjal, and among the many things he mentioned was his saying, Ad-Dajjal will come and it will be forbidden for him to pass through the entrances of Al-Madinah. He will land in some of the salty barren areas outside Al-Madinah. On that day, the best man, or one of the best men, will come up to him and say, I testify that you are the same Ad-Dajjal, whose description was given to us by Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. Ad-Dajjal will say to the people, If I kill this man and bring him back to life again, will you doubt my claim? They will say, No. Then Ad-Dajjal will kill that man and bring him back to life. That man will say, Now I know your reality better than before. Ad-Dajjal will say, I want to kill him again, but I cannot. Chapter on Al-Madinah expels Al-Khabath, all the evil and bad persons, etc. Narrated Jabir, may Allah be pleased with him. A Bedouin came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and gave the bay'ah, pledge for embracing Islam. The next day, he came with fever and said to the Prophet, peace be upon him, Please cancel my pledge of emigrating to Al-Madinah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, refused that request 3 times and said, Al-Madinah is like a furnace. It expels out its khabath, the impurities, evil and bad persons, etc., and selects the good ones and makes them perfect. Narrated Zayd bin Thabit, may Allah be pleased with him, when the Prophet, peace be upon him, went out for the battle of Uhud, some of his companions, hypocrites, returned home. A party of the believers remarked that they would kill those hypocrites who had returned, but another party said that they would not kill them. So this divine revelation was revealed. Then what is the matter with you that you are divided into two parties about the hypocrites? Qur'an, chapter 4, verse 88. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Al-Madinah expels the bad persons from it, as fire expels the impurities of iron. Chapter on Love of Prophet, peace be upon him, for Al-Madinah. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, O Allah, bestow on Al-Madinah twice the blessings you bestowed on Mecca. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him. Whenever the Prophet, peace be upon him, returned from a journey and sighted the walls of Al-Madinah, he would make his mount go fast, and if he was on an animal, that is, a horse, he would make it gallop because of his love for Al-Madinah. Chapter on the dislike of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that Al-Madinah should be vacated. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him. The people of Bani Salama intended to shift near the mosque of the Prophet, peace be upon him, but Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, disliked to see Al-Madinah vacated, and said, O the people of Bani Salama, don't you think that you will be rewarded for your footsteps, which you take towards the mosque? So they stayed at their old places. Chapter on Love of Prophet, peace be upon him, for Al-Madinah. Rated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, There is a garden from the gardens of paradise between my house and my pulpit, and my pulpit is on my hawl, tank, al-Kawthar. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with them. When Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, reached Al-Madinah, Abu Bakr and Bilal became ill. When Abu Bakr's fever got worse, he would recite this poetic verse. Everybody is staying alive with his people, yet death is nearer to him than his shoelaces. And Bilal, when his fever deserted him, would recite, Would that I could stay overnight in a valley wherein I would be surrounded by idkhir and jalil, kinds of good-smelling grass. Would that one day I could drink the water of the Madinah, and would that the two mountains, Shama and Tufail, would appear to me. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, O Allah, curse Shayba bin Rabi'ah and Utbah bin Rabi'ah and Umayyah bin Khalaf, as they turned us out of our land to the land of epidemics. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, then said, O Allah, make us love Al-Madinah as we love Mecca, or even more than that. O Allah, give blessings in our Sa'ah and our Mudh, measures symbolizing food, and make the climate of Al-Madinah suitable for us, and divert its fever towards Al-Jurfa. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with them, added, When we reached Al-Madinah, it was the most unhealthy of Allah's lands, and the valley of Buthan, the valley of Al-Madinah, used to flow with impure, colored water. Narrated Zayd bin Aslam, that his father said, Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said, O Allah, grant me martyrdom in your cause, and let my death be in the city of your Messenger, peace be upon him.